Okay, we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Girl Upcycled Studio. Welcome to my live feed, and welcome to all of you that are catching this later on during the replay. Uh, just a little side note, if you are catching this on the replay, please get involved. Please ask questions. You can tag my name if you have questions, and that way I'll be able to find your question a little bit quicker. If you're on YouTube, I absolutely see all of the comments there over on YouTube. So feel free to ask questions. If you happen to be brand new here, welcome. My name's Kelly Weiler, the owner here at Girl Upcycled, and I'm also the owner of an amazing art group. It is an online art group called the Creators Club, which is open right now. Doors will close very soon, so if you are thinking about coming in, you might want to do that before the doors close. So say hello. I see you guys coming in. All right, say hello so I can make sure my feed is going through okay. All right, I'm going to do a quick little recap of what I did yesterday. If you happen to have missed it, you can catch the video over on YouTube, and it'll kind of take you through the steps of all of the application that I did here. But I'm going to just quickly shout out and tell you what I used. I used all three DIY paint colors. The first one is Gypsy Green. I then used Blue Iris, which is a beautiful cobalt. And then I used a beautiful turquoise sea glass color. So like I said, you can catch the video from yesterday and you can see the application and how and why I did it the way that I did it. There you are. Hello, Heather. Hello. Hello, Melinda. Clear as a bell. Good. Tanya's in the house. Good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for spreading the love for me. I so appreciate that. So this is what we left off with yesterday. It's all nice and dry. And so I'm going to go ahead and apply my top coats, which will include paint and two different kinds of waxing. So let me just show you real quick. I will be using today a color called Vintage Linen. Where's the front? Vintage Linen. And it is a beautiful, well, it's probably a little distorted. It is a neutral white tone, which you guys are probably surprised because I do not do a ton of white painting. It is not my thing. It is not my favorite thing to do unless I do something like this, which gives it a little more interest and there's still a little more color application. So this is one of my favorite ways to do neutrals, okay? So Vintage Linen is a beautiful white tone and it has a little bit of a gray undertone to it. So those of you, if you have farmhouse colors in the grays and all that, this color will be beautiful. We have two other whites. We have beadboard, which is a beautiful creamy white, maybe with a tinge more warmth to it. And then we also have white swan, which is a beautiful white as well. So you can look at all the whites and kind of decide. You could do this with any three of those light color whites and it'll be beautiful, okay? Next, the supplies that I'm going to use, I have my French tip brush, well loved. You can look at that. I kind of like it. This is my older one, and so it's a little more frayed, and so I'm going to use that one tonight. And then I have this just a regular chalk painting brush. Something else I'm going to be using today is from the Turquoise Iris. This is the number 46 knife. I'm going to use that tonight as well. And then I do occasionally use my little paint spatulas. So these are the items that I'll be using. Okay. Hey, Stacy, I just sent your package out to you, girl. So yes, it's going to be exciting. Good to see you. All right, so let's get started. Let's see. And welcome everybody. Welcome. Do I have any new members that just joined the Creators Club? I know if you are in the Creators Club, can you please give a heads up, tell everybody who you are. We only are open a short time before the doors will close. So make sure y'all, if you're thinking about getting in there, it is an art group. So anything we do in there, whether it is on furniture, on canvas, on fabric, it is art related. There's also a little bit of creative business talk in there. And I also offer all the rights to paint these splatter and chatter classes so that you yourself can make money on the paint classes, and it pays for your membership and it pays for all your art supplies. So that's kind of a cool thing. Hello, Maz from Australia. How is life in Australia? Okay, so I'm going to start off with my pixie brush, and I'm going to hit my corners really well and just kind of dabbing it in. And then I'm going to kind of dry brush it out. But I want to make sure that I get all of my corners really well. It's kind of my thing. Any of the grooves. It's a little bit of water in my brush, and I did not think about that when I started painting, but that's all right. So you want your brush to be fairly dry. And I'm just doing some really quick strokes. If you can see that. Anywhere there's cracks and crevices, I am dabbing my paint in, and then I am slightly dry brushing, and then just periodically I am brushing, okay? So I don't want to necessarily cover up all of the work that I did yesterday, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to let some of those colors come through. It's very hot in Australia. How hot is hot? How hot? It is pretty cold here, so we would maybe trade you a little bit, although I cannot take the heat. Okay. Again, I'm going to hit, and I'm going to pounce, and then I'm going to just kind of lightly brush. Careful not to cover everything up. Can you all see okay? I know my head is probably in the way, isn't it? Let's see if I can bring you a little smidgen closer. This is going to be super, super cute though. This is a great way for people that, those of you that do custom orders, do any of you do custom orders? Put a hand up. If you have people that do custom orders, you will probably get really tired of all the white that they want you to paint. I don't do that anymore. I do not paint just white items anymore. But when I do paint a neutral, this is kind of the style. There are many ways to do this. You could do a top application that's a wash, but I'm just kind of doing a little bit of dry brushing right now for starters. But this is a good option. This is also a great option for those customers that they love color, but they're afraid to jump. They're afraid to do it. This is a great little starter for them. To kind of wean them into loving color. And I will tell you what, once you start getting them hooked on color, they will be back for more. They will love it, and they'll be back for more. So I'm just kind of lightly hitting. I do want to do some thicker areas. And I do have the opposite side already painted for you. So you are not going to have to wait for me to paint the entire thing to kind of, I'll do a magic of the camera and we will fast forward here in a minute. Okay. So you get the gist, right? This is kind of how we do it. This is how we do it. All right. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to grab my knife. This is the number 46 turquoise iris paint knife. I do sell these, by the way. I sell all of the products used today. The paint, the pixie brushes, and the knife. So I just dipped in. I'm going to dip in. I'm going to clean it completely off on the front. And then I'm just going to lightly pull off. And then I'm going to start pulling it. And I'll give you a close-up here in a second in case you can't see about what it's doing. It's giving it a really, really kind of that authentic look, like it has been chipped. Because we love the chippy paint, right? Who's with me? Do you love the chippy? Because I do. And you could actually do this without dry brushing too if you wanted the undercolors to be more dominant. You could do that as well. I think it looks a little more natural when we combine the brush strokes, the dry brushing along with this, but that's just my opinion. Are you able to see? Love some chippy, says Stacy. Hi, Sue. Maz says, I hate just painting white. I know, right? I do too. I don't do it anymore. I've got one I need to be doing and I keep procrastinating. But oh well. I will get it. I will do it. So I get caught up. I'm trying to get some of my furniture painting caught up in the studio here because I have sold a lot from the holidays and the first of the year, and so this is the time of year that I usually spend furniture painting. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I'm just taking it and I am lightly dragging it with the knife. And you want to do this over top of this area too. This is where I use the softer, this is where I use this one a little bit more, just because it bends. It bends a little bit around. And I'm just kind of, it is kind of sloppy looking as you're watching me do this. But trust me, it'll be beautiful when you get it finished. And then this little piece is good, like if you want to kind of clean out any of those little cracks and crevices. So you can kind of play with the tools and see what works better for you. The rubber ones, the spatulas, are just a little bit softer, so you can kind of go back and forth and play. it also depends on the person. Each person has a different way of painting. If you've ever heard people say that they paint with a heavy hand, that means their paint is probably going to be thicker, okay? So that's why the different tools, sometimes if something works for one person, it doesn't work for the other, and that is why. They have different, every person has their own movement, and you have to really just play around with the tools and kind of see what works for you. Stacy says, I did a white dining set, sold fast. Now I have another one almost exactly like it. Trying not to feel compelled to do white again just for a quick sip. Well, Stacy, why don't you give this a try, and you will have a blast doing it. And these little peaks and pops of color are so pretty underneath. So if you give it a try, let me know, because I would love to see it. I'd love to see and hear how you liked it. So I'm going to run this down the leg. Like I said, I may want to flip and use my spatula here. Kind of cool. I love it already, and I'm not even done. I want to see if I can give you guys I can bring you guys a little bit closer. Hold on one second. In. I'm gonna pull you in. Here we go. Let's see. You guys see some of the color? It may be kind of hard, but I'm going to try to give you a close-up without getting paint on me. See all that? Looks like it's been chipped throughout the years, doesn't it? It really, really does. It does the job. It looks authentic, especially once you get your waxes applied. That's kind of when the magic happens. So we will be doing that today too. What color about this tabletop? Stain it maybe? You could stain the tabletop. Yeah, you could stain it. Do you have dark and decrepit? Because you could totally use the dark and decrepit to stain. You could also use the old and gray. So it is a weathered patina, like a gray weathered patina. And what I did, and I've done this several times, is I paint like the base coat, like a like weathered wood or some darker color, and then you go over top of it with the old and gray. But what I do is I add just a little bit of white tone to the old and gray to bring it up a little notch. That way the variation of the gray, white, and black just kind of looks like a wood grain. It's really pretty. So, hi Cherry, just bought the blue iris paint knife. Awesome, can't wait to try this. Oh, just now? That must have been you that I heard. You'll love it. As soon as she came out with this, I was like, ooh, that's gonna be perfect for my furniture painting. So I use it more on my furniture than I do for my canvas, because it's big. It's a large size, and you can see how it fits right in the cracks and crevices really well. So very cool. Let's do the top real quick. Want to? Are you guys still with me? Ooh, I did paint all over me today. I have my uniform on, so it's all good. I call this my uniform. I've had this old vest for so many years, but do you guys ever get something that you just love it no matter how old it is? It's like, I still love it, but I still love it. It's all ratted and just, it looks terrible, but I always tell my sister, she's like, oh, you got your vest on again? And I'm like, yeah, it's my uniform. my hat. This is my uniform hat. On the days that I'm going to be painting and I got to get it back away from my, you know, from the paint cans. All right, I'm going to go back to my brush. So I really like the brushes for the corners. Tapping that in my corners. It's perfect for that. Yep, just bought it. Sounds beautiful. Friday night, huh? What's everybody doing on the big Friday night? Here. It will be beautiful. I'm going to probably not do this side because I want to wax here. But I do want to finish this flat part because I think it'll be kind of cool. You guys can see. There we go. I love this piece though, you guys. Again, I picked this up at the Restore. So I'm going to just scrape. I need to get my hand in here like this. So the key to it is just to get it on there and start dragging it. And then you start building it up, okay? If you can see, you get my hand back behind it because I feel like I'm going to stand right in front of the camera. So I'm trying not to. See, I scraped down and hit a little smidgen of wood, and that's okay too. Now, if you don't want to pull the wood up like that, which I'm okay with that, I kind of like it. Probably the rubber one might be a little bit better for you. You just go in and scrape back and forth. Okay, and we'll take the brush and we'll do a little bit of dry brushing. I don't want to blend it too much, but so if you think a little step where it will be worn, it's going to be mostly worn right in that middle, right? So I'm putting most of my paint around the edges. And leaving. So now it's probably making a little more sense of why I applied the paint yesterday the way that I did. So it's always scary to watch that when you don't understand what's happening, right? Kind of like, ooh, all right, I like that. Can you see? So you can kind of adjust it. You can adjust that to as much or as little. Maybe you don't want as much chippy going on. Just keep layering it. So I think I'm going to stop right there with that, and I'm going to pop on over, and I'm going to show you how to wax this. Let me turn it. Oh, thanks, Stacy. I hope you give it a try. Hello, Valerie. How are you? All right. Okay. It is dry back here and wet on the other side. So let me turn it. The magic of cameras now, right? I wish I could be this organized for you guys every time. That would be great. Sometimes I get on here and I'm just in the middle of painting and I'm like, oh, I should get on and show them something. I'm doing it. All right. So the first thing I'm going to use is the clear DIY wax, this is going to seal. This is going to put your first hard seal into it, okay? Let's open the new one. And we're going to just apply this. And I've got my wax brush. This is just an old wax brush. I actually sell the Pixie ones now, so which are better because they get in. This one's so bulky, it doesn't get into the grooves very well. Get it into the grooves and take it down. You can see how it kind of darkens as you apply. So that is the one thing that I like to let people know, especially when they're new to the DIY paint, that when you apply any kind of either wax or top coat to it, that it does deepen in color just a little bit. So don't be afraid. That's what it's supposed to do. It's very porous and dry, and so what is happening is it is just absorbing. It's just sucking in all of that wax. Okay, so that's what we want. So we're going to put a nice coat on here. This will be up on my website, guys, as soon as I get it done, okay? I think it's a really, really unique piece, and I think this will be perfect, too, for those of you that have kiddos, if you have little grandkids and they need they need steps to reach things. This would be great for them. And I really thought it would be an awesome plant stand, which is why I wanted to do it more neutral with the greens and blues, because I thought that would just really, really accentuate any of the plants that might be on top of here. So also, that being said, so I'm thinking in my head about this could possibly be a plant stand or kiddos climbing on it. On the flat part here, whoops, that's so wet. On the flat part, I'm going to do a hard coat first, a big top. I won't be doing that tonight with you. So what you'll want to do is, before you wax it, like I'm doing right now, any kind of tabletop or high traffic area, which that's what these steps would be considered, high traffic, if there's potted plants going to be on it, I want to make sure I do a really good hard seal. I'm going to let that dry all the way. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do all this. Okay? Does that make sense? Ooh, boy, colors are really popping. Even just with the clear wax. It just makes it richen right up, you guys. Love it. Thank you guys. All right. And thank you guys so much for the love. It's so nice. All right. So next, oops. You could do anything over top of this at this point. So you could do, I'm going to do dark wax on it. You could do the shipwrecked, would be pretty, because that is like mermaid tail. It's like that mermaid tail color turned into a wax. So if you're maybe more beachy, something like that, then that would be pretty. I'm going to use the dark wax, and this is how dark it is. And that is why I went ahead and applied my clear wax first, so that it did not absorb too much of the dark wax. Okay, so I want all this dark wax, just, I'm going to push it into all those grooves. Okay, so you can start to see all the little detailing. bottom, especially in any little cracks, crevices, corners. That's where it would age the most and it would be discolored the most, right? Oops, I didn't want to do that yet. Didn't do that. All right. Push that in all the grooves. Really good. Remember, we already had clear on there, so it already has protection as far as protection goes. All right. Lint-free. Grab a lint-free rag. Thank you. Hi, Christine. All right, and we're going to start pulling this back off. It brought off a little bit of paint there because my paint's fairly fresh. So that's something to think about. If you don't want to see any of the wood, you want to let your paint dry like a full 24 hours. But I'm not worried about it. I kind of like, because that to me is what this would be like if it was naturally aged, right? See how it's all kind of coming together? Okay, so let's say that you do this and you're like, oh no, it's too dark. I don't like it that dark. You know, I think I want it like that. Then all you do is you just reapply your clear wax as if it's like an eraser. We're going to reapply it and then voila. Did you see that brighten back up? So that just kind of wipes that right back down. You go real light on your hand and you can kind of control it as to how dark or how light you want it. Super cute, you guys. This is super cute. So much better than the drab brown that it was, huh? So I'm just dipping into my clear and I'm just blending it a little bit. I'm real happy with it. Are there any questions at all? I will, I'll probably finish this up and probably finish it up tomorrow, and I'll have a finished picture and I will put that on my YouTube thumbnail, and if I remember, I'll try to share it on my page if I can remember. I am very overwhelmed because the group is opening up and I have new people coming in. So that being said, I want to, those of you thinking about coming in, we will be closing the doors kind of pretty soon, and so you want to make sure you get in. If you are interested, we have a couple of free classes that we offered this week, so you can look on my Facebook page for those classes as far as art classes. But look, that looks so pretty, right? I mean, a little, it's neutral, but we have still those really, really cute, pretty colors of the teal and the the cobalt blue, the blue iris is popping through. So you'll be able to see that a little bit better when I do a close-up of the picture. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Are there any questions at all? I'm going to give you guys just a second. Thanks again for sprinkling. I do appreciate that. Stacy says, Brownie Frowny as the girl from... Yes, I love her, Sonia. She's a friend of mine. I haven't talked to her in a minute, but I love her. She always does Brownie, doesn't she? Yep, Sonia is her name. Paula says it looks great. Thanks, Paula. Heather likes it. So much character in it now. Yeah. So can't you just see this sitting in a windowsill, like underneath a window with bunch of plants on it? Or like I said, if you have kiddos, this is a great, like, really cool piece for kiddos, because you have to worry about it getting chipped up, because it's just going to make it better, right? Christine says fabulous. Yes, it's Sonia. Yep. And let's see, Sonia, her last name has escaped me, but she's wonderful. I love her. She's a sweetheart. Okay. All right. I don't see any other questions coming in. That was a nice short one, just a half hour. So we did good. So I hope you guys give this a try. And like I said, if you're catching this on a replay and you have questions, just type in and put your questions in. If you look right here, you see a little sneak peek of those are the classes that I offered for free. So if you would like to do Little Frida or Frida's Bouquet, which is those pictures back behind me, you can find those on my YouTube channel and have fun with it. All right. Have a great weekend, you guys. Remember, the doors close very soon for the Creators Club. So I'm debating whether I want to keep it open throughout the week. We originally said the doors were closing tonight. So I'm talking to my VA right now. I'm not sure if I'm able to keep it open a little bit longer, because all the emails are already done. So tonight is what we originally scheduled. So see you guys inside the club. Bye-bye.